guys, and welcome back to my podcast where we talk about all things weight loss. On this specific episode, I have Maria. She is 6 months post-op. We had so many amazing stories that we shared. We shared about a story, kind of like a before story from Disneyland and how we kind of experienced the same situation. So that was just one of the things that we talked about. We talked about just how motivated we are now and how putting yourself first when it comes to getting the vertical sleeve gastrectomy is so important, and always remembering that having a support system is so important, and remembering that those that matter are going to be there for you regardless. So that's kind of just a lot of the things that we talked about. If you guys haven't yet, please download the Anchor app. You guys can download that and look up my name, Body, Mind, and Soul _VSG. And you guys can listen to this podcast in a podcast form. So you guys just plug it into your car and listen to it that way. Or you guys can watch it here on YouTube. So if you guys are interested, then please keep on watching. So let's just start. Let's start with what you want to share about yourself. Anything, honestly. Anything you want to share.
Wrote some notes. I'm a mini Paulina here.
I'm notes too. Look, posted all over my computer.
Everything's on here, so it's a whole list.
Okay, cool.
It's a whole situation. Okay. So I am a big fan of people of color entrepreneurs like Rizos Curls, the Budgetista, Pequeña y Poderosa. I am a mom of two. I have a boyfriend. My daughters are 11 and 5. I'm Chicana, so I was born here, but my mom is from Guerrero. My dad is from Puebla.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I love to travel.
And you love to travel. Where have you traveled to?
Just Mexico and pretty much all of the U.S.
Yeah?
I still need to go outside of the U.S.
How many states?
Probably over 20 states,
really?
easily.
Awesome. I know. Me and my husband love baseball, and like one of our like bucket lists is to go to every baseball stadium. So that goes to a lot of major cities. And like, I know we wanted to go. Well, this year we're gonna go to Colorado, but then COVID happened, so we had to cancel our trip. The big ones are like, I want to go to New York really bad, and there's a lot of stadiums in that area. So I'm like, that's exciting, you know?
That is.
That's cool.
That's dope. Oh my God. I'm so excited for you guys.
I know. I love it. It's just cool because the stadiums are so unique everywhere. It's so different. Like here, we're an hour from San Diego and an hour from LA. So where do you live?
I live in Orange County. So I'm near like Long Beach.
Yeah. So like, you know, the stadiums in San Diego, the Padres Stadium compared to the Dodger Stadium and the Angel Stadium, they're completely different. Like, we went to the Dodger Stadium last year for the first time, and I love it. It's because it's older and just like, you know what I mean? It's
got a rustic feel, right? I've been to that one too. It's huge. It's a lot bigger than the Anaheim one, so I definitely.
Yeah, I really like how, because the one in San Diego, it's like right in the middle of downtown, which is cool because it's downtown, you know, vibes or whatever. But LA is like it's its own thing. Like it's the stadium and just like parking. And I thought it's cool because it's not in a city. You know what I mean?
It isn't. Yeah, it's true. Exactly.
Perfect. Cool. So if you're comfortable, like, so you got the sleeve, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I've been like assuming, like I've had people on and I keep thinking it's sleeve, but there's people that have gotten the bypass, you know? I mean, I'm like, oh, you got the bypass? I'm sorry. Like, cause I've like assumed, you know, like, so you got the sleeve. When did you get it?
I got it 3/9 of this year.
Oh yeah. So you're still, so how many months is that?
I'm 6 months. This month is my 6 months.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, actually. I really feel like everything has been super, I don't know, its own journey, I want to say for sure. And having support systems like you and like.
I love following everyone. Isn't it like, it just motivates you, huh? Like getting on Instagram and viewing people, like.
Exactly. Like Maribel, VSG, you're the one that told me about her. I started following her.
I follow so many people.
No, and everyone that you basically like repost or whatever, I'm like, all right, I gotta go see what they got.
Yeah.
And it's awesome because it's such a great community.
It is. It's so funny because, like I said in my last podcast, it's gonna go up tomorrow. it was with Amber. I don't know if you follow her, but she's in Pennsylvania and she's 9 months post-op. But anyways, we were talking about how, you know, just everyone has a different story. And just because we got the same surgery, it looks different for everyone. So when people like message me and ask me things, I like always say, this is my experience, because
right.
you know, like anything, like we talked about, like I haven't experienced dumping syndrome. Have you experienced dumping syndrome?
Yes, I did.
Okay. What was it?
I was hungry and I thought I had enough time in between both of like when I last ate and when I think it was like a month after.
Yeah.
So I had like some like broth soup and it just was like, nope, this is not the day. So it just todo abajo. And I was like,
yeah. Did you make it or was it like from a restaurant?
no, it was from it was the Costco ones, the chicken broth, the little canned ones.
And you know what's crazy is when I was in my pre-op classes, they were talking about dumping syndrome, and they had like a visitor come in, someone that got surgery, and she was talking and she was like, what gave me dumping syndrome was broth. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, broth? I'm like, not pizza, not a burger, not French fries. And she was like, no, it was broth. I don't know what it was. So to hear you say that, it's kind of like, it's what do you like, the salt, I mean, we don't really know how they make it. You know what I mean?
Right, that's true. That's why you gotta do it yourself now.
Yeah. Like when my mom makes like, you know, like her albondigas or whatever, she puts the nor, what is it called in English? Oh my gosh, my friend, the chicken
stock. The
but it has
chicken bouillon.
I'm like, I know it has a fancy name because my friend was making fun of me and she's like, nor. I'm like, yes, that's what my mom calls it. And that has a lot of sodium and stuff.
It does.
But they have one that's low sodium. But I don't really make soups a lot, but maybe because it's so hot, you know?
Right now, yeah, for sure.
But anyways, yeah, that's crazy. Like dumping syndrome, I think when we think dumping syndrome, we think of like a brownie, a cake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So did you throw up also or no?
No, it was just the other way.
Yeah, see? And I always ask that because like there's a lot of people that don't experience it. Like I've never experienced it. The only time that I got sick was twice. Once when I drank water too fast in the beginning, I was like maybe 2 months post-op. And then another time when I tried to switch my vitamins, I went from chewable to the ones to swallow. And as soon as I swallowed it, I threw up. And it was just,
like, nope.
Yeah, it was just water because with my multivitamin, I try to chew on it after I eat, but sometimes I don't, and it doesn't make me sick. Like it's fine. But that one I could not do on an empty stomach, and I haven't tried it because I'm too paranoid. I'm like,
I'm good, yeah.
Oh, thank you. You know,
one time is enough.
I know. And it's crazy though, because your body changes from obviously 2 months to 6 months to like with me, I'm 13 months and it changes
I know.
so much. How is your restriction right now? Do you feel like it's still pretty restricted?
I feel like my restrictions a little
like
stretched out a little bit less. I know my boyfriend's like, you're eating a little more, and I'm like, shoot, don't say that. Quiet now.
No, but that's reality. You know what I mean? That's so real because like me at 13 months, sometimes I'm like, where's the restriction? Like, no, seriously. And I freak out. And I'm to the point where I don't think I want to lose any more weight. I think I'm good and comfy where I'm at. You know, I have loose skin and I feel like my skin right now I'm weighing like 160. Yeah, 160, but like my goal weight was 150 and then I said 140. I'm 5'4", so I'm not that tall. I'm like normal. But I feel like my loose skin will weigh about 10 pounds, you know?
10 to 15 for sure.
Yeah, but so that's why I'm kind of like, and sometimes I look at myself in a picture and I think I look too skinny. Man, it's so crazy. Like we think body
dysmorphia is real, okay? It is real.
I know. My husband brought that up the other day because I've been talking about my loose skin every day. And he was like, because I was like, I don't want to get my skin removed until I have kids, you know?
Right.
And then he told me yesterday, he was like, do you want to just get skin removal first? We can wait on kids. And I was like, why are you saying that? And he's like, because you've been bringing it up every day now. So if it's really messing with you, then maybe you should consider that before.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know, because I feel like if I get pregnant and get skin removal, get pregnant, and then I'm going to complain again after.
That's true. Yeah. But he's like, I don't want you complaining now.
Every day, I know. I'm like, okay, I won't say anything. Whatever.
And
But
then you're like,
I know. It's like, it's just hard because like you said, it's so crazy. I posted a couple of weeks ago about before when I was really heavy, I would take clothes off and put it back on, take clothes off, put it back on.
yeah.
And now that I never would think that at 160, I would be doing the same thing. And I do. Because of now, yeah, but now it's because of different things. Now it's because of my loose skin. So now I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
So what are your stats? How much have you lost in 6 months?
75 pounds.
That is amazing.
No, my highest I was at 254. So I'm at 179. I just weighed myself before coming into the Zoom. I was like,
how tall are you?
I'm 5'1". I'm short.
You're 5'1". Yeah. So what's your goal? Like, I don't want to say goal weight because I don't, honestly, now that I'm 13 months post-op, I don't like to think about a number just because I was weighing myself every day at one point and I don't now at all.
I do.
You still do? No, yeah, I did until I was like, I think until I hit 160. And then I was getting on every day and I was like, it's not moving. Why am I going to weigh myself every single day? Like it was getting a little obsessive. You know what I mean? And I put the scale away. But I do weigh myself once a week because I'm like, I can't.
You're not trying to gain.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So what's your goal weight?
I think like 150 ideally would be great. I do have like my pouch that I'm just like already like seeing like, okay, this is the pooch is the loose skin, and I'm sure, because I have lost some of this, and I'm like, oh,
I've lost all of that. Okay. Yeah, I know it's crazy because I don't know, like I feel like when I was really heavy, when I was 300 pounds, when I would think 150, I thought my body would look a different way. And I'm happy. Like, I know that I'm healthy. I know that I'm all this, whatever. But when I look at myself, I'm like, oh, I wouldn't have pictured my body like this at 160. You know what I mean? It's just weird. It's so weird. Mental.
Of course, because we see other people and they're 150 or 130. Like my god sister is like 99 pounds and she's like my height, but she's tiny. That's how she's built. She's built petite. And I'm like, I'm never going to look like that ever.
Yeah, no, and it's hard because I don't know if you've ever seen, there was this picture I saw on Facebook one time and it said all these women weigh 150. And it was like someone that was 5 foot, someone that was like 6 foot, someone that was like curvy, someone that didn't have hips. And it was crazy to see 150 and like, I think it was like 10 different women. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's very powerful because you can't say, oh, if I weigh 150 and you weigh 150, we're going to look completely different. You know what I mean? Versus someone else. So it's just crazy to see that. And I think that's a good picture because, a number's a number, I feel.
It is a number. Yeah, I definitely did. In one of my posts, I definitely said that. I think even with like Facebook groups, I'm the type that's like, you know what? Stop comparing yourself to other people. And that's what I'm slowly trying to do myself, you know, mental health and just like
it's so hard though. It's hard. And I talked about it before, like with mental health. I've never really struggled with like, and I've said it in my podcast before, like I don't really struggle with anxiety and stuff, to be like honest. My sister, me and my sister are super close. My sister struggled with anxiety and I didn't understand it. I was really naive to it. And now that I've done my research and stuff, I've understand that you can't just tell someone to snap out of how they're feeling. And it's way different, you know what I mean? And I didn't know that because I'm the type of person, and I'm like this with my husband, and he also struggles from anxiety, but I would tell him, like, if he was, like, sad or, like, something, I'd be like, snap out of it. And he's like, Paulina, it's not that simple. And I was like, what do you mean? Yeah, it is. Get up and, like, make it happen. And he's like, it's not that simple. And I'm saying this, like, straight up until the last couple of years when I've, like, okay, hold on. And I have my bachelor's in psychology, so it's even worse because, like, I study people and the mind and whatever. But it's, like, I don't know. To me, like I said, like with me, I'm the type of person, if I have a goal, like you do it. If you want to do something, you do it. Like, why are you letting me block you, you know? But I wasn't understanding what to be anxious means, you know? But I forgot where I was going with all of that.
So what? So when you did your research, and I know you said you did your bachelor's in psychology.
Yeah.
What was her her experience, or what did she share with you? If you don't mind sharing, of course. Huh?
My sister?
Yeah.
Of like how she feels when she's anxious?
Yeah.
No, yeah. She just struggles. The way she feels and the way she's explained it to me is that it's not, you can't just snap out of it. You know what I mean? And I remember when I was in the hospital, this is the only time that I felt this way. I was in the hospital after surgery and they gave me a pain medicine. I don't remember what it was. I don't remember. And I made my husband write it down. And I explained to him that I felt like I wanted to like come out of my body. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, I was laying there and I was telling him, babe, like, this is how I feel. And he looks at me and he's like, you're having an anxiety attack. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I felt like I had to jump out of bed and like I was like, let's go walk. I don't know what's happening. And I explained that to my sister. And my sister was like,
yep,
you were having an anxiety attack. And I was like, oh my gosh. And like, for people to feel like that all the time, it's like, I pray for those people because it was really hard for me to look past that second, you know? But anyways, so with that being said, before surgery, when they talked about the mind and all these things, I didn't think I would struggle for that because of my mindset. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I do. Now that I'm further out, now it's maintaining. And I feel like now it's more of a mental game than I lost weight every single week for like 11 months. So now
I know
it's
so
crazy.
Jealous.
It's crazy. And I think that's what kept me motivated. But now it's like, okay, Paulina, you lost the weight. Now what? You know?
Yeah. So is this helping the podcast? Huh? I was going to say, is the podcast like helping and like just giving you just like a different direction?
I love the podcast because, again, everyone has their own stories. And, you know, I've talked to people that struggle really, really bad with the mental part of it, and then other people not so bad. And then the reason why people get surgery can be very simple to someone that is way more extreme. You get what I'm saying? Like, someone with major medical issues, and then someone else can just be like, I just wanted to get it because I wanted to look good. And that doesn't mean that their purpose it's not less meaningful than the other person that has diabetes or whatever, you know? And yeah, it helps me stay motivated because like I posted the other day, it's like, I don't just lose the weight and then I'm not addicted to food. It just doesn't go.
Right. Food addiction is real.
Yeah.
So
sure. Like, doing a weekly podcast and stuff really helps because it helps me stay on track. Like, and you know, even with my Instagram, like being open and stuff, I know it helps a lot of people, but to be honest, and this might sound a little selfish, is like I did it for myself so that I could stay motivated. You get what I'm saying? And then it opened up to everyone. So yeah. Do you feel like you struggle mentally on this journey or have?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. There's moments where I put myself down. I'm like, why am I not losing weight? Or why is somebody else losing weight every week like you? And I'm just like, and so comparing myself to other people is something that I'm working on. And like, I have a therapist that like, it's a huge thing to continue that like mental part of it for me, because I don't want to have that anxiety or that depression or just, you know, let it snowball into something.
Yeah, especially because we can't deal with food. I mean, we can't deal with our emotions with food, you know, like we do. So yeah, therapy. I've talked to so many people on my podcast that have done therapy throughout the whole thing. And I think that's amazing. I didn't, and I don't, but I was telling my husband the other day, maybe it is something that I should look into, because now it's kind of like, how do I deal with my emotions? Because I can't go eat a whole pizza. Like, you know?
Exactly.
And it's crazy because like, we know, like we can write a list. You and me both can write a list of, oh, what do I do instead? What can I do instead of eat? Go run, go work out, go read a book, go watch a movie. Like, we know what to do, but it's actually doing it.
Yeah, it's execution. For sure. Definitely. I agree.
Yeah, and even like before surgery, we all knew how to lose weight, but it was doing it, right?
Yeah. Right? Oh yeah. I had a lot of my friends that were like, what, you need a year to lose 100 pounds? Why can't you just do it on your own? Like, Why do you need a surgery?
And
I'm like,
what was your like? Why did you go through with the surgery? How long did you think about it before you actually took the steps?
I had torn my ACL.
Me too.
So, hey, I think we talked about this. Yeah. So I tore my ACL July 2018, I would say. Yeah. So 2018, I tore my ACL, and basically I started gaining a whole bunch of weight, and I just got super like just I don't know, discouraged because I was like, I'm gaining a whole bunch of weight, and I'm out of work for 3 months. So what the F, you know? And as I started getting more weight, I'm like, you know what? I need to do something, because at my highest I was 254, and I'm 5'1", so that's almost 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And that was scary to see the scale just continue to go up when I was so complacent before, and I was like, 210, 220.
Yeah,
and then
didn't it happen fast? Like it happens fast. I remember when I was 200, and I was really like, I was from 200 to 210, 200 to 210. And it was when I was like 19 years old. And I remember I would never let myself get past 210. And then I don't know what in my life made me think like, okay, just stop worrying about it. And then I got to 304.
Dang.
Yeah. In 10
crazy.
years. It's insane.
Oh my God.
Uh-huh. I don't remember weighing myself and seeing like 240, 250, 260 because I stopped weighing myself for a whole, I don't know how many years.
For a while, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just scary, yeah. So then what made you decide, well, that's what you're saying, is that you gained weight and like that's what made you decide to get it, right?
Yeah. So then September 2019, I was just like, you know what? I saw somebody, through my insurance, I actually had to call in so that I wouldn't be charged an extra $1,000.
Okay.
So I called into, I think it's called Consumer Medical. It's just strictly with my insurance that's what I have to do. So when I called in, they're like, okay, this is who we recommend. And it was Dr. Braverman in Whittier, PIH. Super great guy, really. And he like told us his like backstory.
Mm-hmm. I just changed the gallery view because I totally messed up. Because I always record on gallery because it shows both of us. So when it shows it on speaker view, it just shows the speaker. But that's okay. I'm like, that's how I know that I'm exhausted, because I was like, wait, what's different? I was looking at the screen. I'm like, what's different? And I was like, oh yeah, I didn't do the other view. Whatever. So you had to so you had to call in, and then did you have to do classes and stuff, or how did that work?
Yeah, I had to do so September to basically March or February.
Did you feel like the classes helped you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I met a lot of great people there. I started following my first account from there, and she had already lost all the weight. So she's like, yeah, I went with Dr. Braverman. So, here's my after, and I was like, oh my God, that's awesome.
It's motivating to see people. I talked about it in the previous podcast. I remember I was always not against, but I was very naive when it came to weight loss surgery. And I would always say like, I will never do that. That would never be me, blah, 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 blah. And then I remember I asked my husband the other day, like, when did I bring it up? And he was like, you brought it up a couple years ago. And then you stopped. And then you started following people, and then you'd bring it up again. And then finally you were like, hey, I made an appointment. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. And then you started it, He's like, I never questioned it. Like I never would, we would talk about it. And then he's like, and then you wouldn't bring it up for like a year. So I was like, okay, whatever, until finally I was like, it's time.
Yeah.
Do you regret it?
Do I regret it? No, I think I would have liked to try like the newer, the Rhino something, or the RNY. I don't know.
Is it that bypass?
No, it's a newer one. It's a Renault something. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, it's a new one. It's a newer process.
Wait, you got the sleeve.
I got the sleeve.
Okay, so there's another one.
Yeah, it's called like hold on, let me look it up. Yeah, but it's a newer one, and Rhino. Bariatric.
Yeah, because the ones I know of is like the bypass and then the lap band, which a lot of people don't do anymore, and then the sleeve.
Yeah, it's called bariatric. Darn it. See, I can't pull it up now. Right when I need it, right?
I know, that's how it always is with everything. You know? That's okay. Just text me it.
I'll text you. Yep.
So we can, yeah. But yeah, there's so many, and even the sleeve is newer. Bypass, my doctor wanted me to do the bypass, and I was like, nah, I'm okay. Because I was just set on the sleeve, you know, that's what I really researched, that's what I really paid attention to in class, all that stuff, and I just felt like it was better for me. He wanted me to get the bypass though, because he says that you lose more weight on the bypass, but I mean, I was fine. And a lot of people that I followed lost a lot of weight and stuff with the sleeve. So I was like, I'm not worried about that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it was fine. It was a good choice for me, but I can't believe 13 months passed by already.
No, in total, how much have you lost? 142. Oh my God, that's crazy. That's a whole person. Okay. That's a whole person.
That's like my mom. My mom's 5'2". And this is the thing. My parents, me and my sister were the only ones that are overweight or were overweight in our family. Like everyone else, my parents are, my mom's like 140. She's like 5'2". My dad's like 190 and he's 6 foot. Like we were the only ones. So our cousins, our aunts, everyone is like a normal, healthy weight. So for us, I was like, we can't be the start of this. And then especially like me and my sister, we both don't have kids yet. So we're like, how are we going to be the ones to start the like obesity in our family? Like, that's not okay. You know what I mean? When it's not in our family. So that was kind of like an eye opener for me too. And it's crazy because it just, I don't know, like I was not so against it, but I was just like, I told you, naive about it. And then I did my research and I was like, okay, you know, maybe this is an option. And I'm so glad that I did it. Cause I'm like,
yeah, it definitely, it changes the perspective of the quality of life for sure.
Everything, you know. How was your family about it? Like, were you open with your family about it?
I was, yeah. So I had gone to Chicago January. I had to go and just visit, and they were all like, "Oh, don't do it! Like you're gonna be under, blah blah blah." I'm like, "I'm gonna do it! Like I already set the schedule. I'm already, I'm doing this. Like you guys can say whatever you want. I'm still gonna do it."
Yeah.
And even my mom was like, luego te pones mala, you know, like you're gonna get sick. And I'm like, I'm okay. I'm not asking you to be there.
It's a surgery, so it's still scary. But yeah, my family would, like my mom, she wasn't against it, but we really wouldn't talk about it. Like it would kind of just be like, oh, she knew I was getting it. She knew I was going through the classes and everything. And I think she just asked me one time, like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, you know, but that's it. Cause I hear some like stories where like people lose friends, people, you know, over this because they're just completely against it, or like get divorced, or like, you know, break up, or like whatever, because it's just something that people do not, they can't move from it.
I've seen that, yeah, on Facebook. I saw a lot, like I lost 100 pounds and a husband. I'm like, dang, okay.
I know. But I see that too. And I'm like, because I think a lot of people think like, oh, you lost 100 pounds, so like you think you're all that, and then like you got a divorce, which can be the reason, right? Like I'm sure there's cases like that, but then I also feel like there's so many other ones, obviously, like, you know, there's people, like I've met people in relationships where their spouses, like they don't want better for you because it's like a comfort level thing for them.
Yeah, it's crazy. Everyone's different. Oh, well, I met my boyfriend like after my surgery, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Were you open? If you don't mind me asking, because I always wonder this, were you open about it? Like, did you like let them know right away, or did you like wait? Yeah.
No. I think I had it on pretty. I had it pretty open in like my life, and like we followed each other on Instagram, and like he could see everything. So he's like, "Oh, that's cool." Yeah. And he's talked about maybe getting it, but I'm like, here, that's your thing. Like, I'm gonna like love you regardless of whether you want to get it or not.
Yeah. So That's really awesome because I always think about that. Like, you know, I'm married and I'm, you know, through this whole thing and stuff. So I always think about dating and like how that would be and stuff. But how is it like when you guys go out and eat and stuff? Is it awkward or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. No, now I just ask for like a to-go box for sure. I have to. So asking for to-go box is my savior. I had that little paper that said like, oh, I had the surgery and I can't eat as much.
Yeah.
But I saw that you had posted, or no, I think it was on one of your videos where you said
Yeah.
like, I just ate it.
I did like 10 tips on like surviving restaurants or something like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I never got one of those cards, but I knew that it was available. But yeah, that's what I do too. Like I'll either split with my husband or like get a to-go box or like whatever. Or I've had people like, you don't like your food? Yes, I like the food. I can't eat it, you know? Because sometimes I'll say it like depending on like how I feel. But
Yeah.
sometimes I'm just like,
yeah, it's your comfort level. You can say whatever you want to say, or don't say anything at all.
Yeah, it's cool though, because like with my husband, like he lost a lot of weight with me just getting the surgery. And I always say this, and it's so funny. It's like I feel like we were fat because of me, because he's so like he's the type of person where when I would say, okay, we're gonna be on a diet, he'd eat the salmon, he'd eat the veggies. You know, it was me that was always like, oh nope, I had a stressful day, I'm not eating that. I'm gonna eat pizza. You know.
Yeah.
And when I got surgery and all that, he lost like 90 pounds and he didn't get surgery. So yeah, it's crazy. And it's because we made extreme changes, you know, extreme.
For sure.
So
did you ever follow any diet, like the keto diet or anything like that?
What he did was he did the fasting. So
and
it works for him. Like he works from 3 p.m. to 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. So his schedule's different. So what he does is like he has a really good breakfast. Like I'm talking about a high calorie breakfast. Like but that's what he does, like egg whites, and he does like protein pancakes or like protein waffles. Like, you know, like he has a good like 500 calorie breakfast. And he'll have snacks, and then right before he goes to lunch, he'll have like a decent lunch, and then like I forget how many hours he doesn't eat, but it works for him, and that's how he lost weight. So, and he still does it now too. He's still trying to lose a little bit more. And it's gone a little bit harder now because we've been going out to eat more and stuff, and I've noticed that, and I told him we need to go back to what we were doing. Because now that I'm able to eat more and stuff, I don't see that much of before it was like, I don't want to go. I can't eat that. You know what I mean? And now I can. So that's what's scary, is that it's very easy to go back.
Of course. Yeah. You just want to, I've done that where I feel like, I just want to eat everything. And then I'm like 2 bites in, I'm like,
I know. Are you able to, do you feel a restriction when you snack?
I have not really been snacking.
That's good.
Not as much.
Don't do it. What are your meal, like what are your eating schedule look like?
Okay. I'm actually doing some of the fasting right now to like boost more weight loss too. So I'll have like a lunch. My lunch is probably like egg and cheese and avocado. Mm-hmm. And then for dinner, I'll have whatever my kids want.
Yeah.
Usually we'll do like, I like doing like tacos or something like that, but mine will be like keto style.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or also just, keto style. So just basically, have you seen how they have them like with just cheese and as like the tortilla?
Yes.
I'll do that. Or I'll even make my own type of like keto bread. Mm-hmm. Oh,
isn't it crazy how there's so many different alternatives to things?
Yes.
There's so many. And it's like, I always think about like, why did I not do this before? Like anything like with tortillas. I mean, of course, handmade tortillas would be like the best thing in the world, right? But like the low carb tortillas aren't that bad, you know? Like, it's just like, there's so many alternatives, and it's like, it was just, I don't know. I think I just ignored them. I was like, I'm not trying that, you know?
I'm like, no, I'm good. Right. Yeah. I'm the same way. I was like, you know what? Asada fries sound real good right now. What low carb?
Exactly. It's crazy. So you said you don't snack. So you eat 3 meals a day? Is that what you said?
No, 2 meals. So lunch and dinner, and then for at night, I do get hungry sometimes, and I'll have like something light. I like maybe 2 or 3 bites of like some fruit, and then I'm done. And then I don't eat until I try to do like 11 p.m. or I'm sorry, 11 a.m.
How does that has it been working?
I'm maintaining, so that's good. Right now, I need to get back in the gym though. Not gym, but like
Yeah, working out. Yeah. See, yeah, it's crazy because everyone kind of does. Have you brought up to your doctor that you're doing that? That you're doing the fasting?
no, I have my 6 months in well now already, but I need to schedule it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different because people ask me like, what did you do? You know, whatever. And like I said, it's different for everyone because like with me, even to this day, I eat every 3 hours. Legit. Every
Okay.
3 hours. Like from the beginning of the day till I go to sleep. And people are like, because you know, like there's people that count they're super crazy about carbs or about I don't know sugars or
The
about
macros, right? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And people ask me, they're like, you don't count your carbs because like when I post like or even on like my videos where I'm like what I eat in a day or like when I'm posting things throughout the day, people always are like, you don't watch your carbs, you don't watch this, you don't watch that, and I'm like, I don't, you know, I change it up sometimes.
Headache.
Yeah, I'm like, but like I said,
Give me a headache.
huh?
I said it would totally give me a headache just trying to.
It's a lot. But my thing is more like I'm just more mindful. Like I said it the other day. I was like, if I eat a protein bar, I'm not gonna eat like a high calorie yogurt. You know what I mean? Because then that equals to like a lot of calories. Like I'm just mindful. So if I know that I'm having a protein bar, it's like okay, I'll eat something that's lower in calories for my next snack. Like I'll have like cucumber or something. You know, I'll manage it. Like I won't have 2 fruits a day because then I'm not meeting my protein goal. You know. So it's always just changing up.
That's good. Yeah. For me, I definitely stay drinking water all day. I have to, or else like even though I don't like TMI, but I don't go to the bathroom like every single like.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah. So I drink a lot of water to keep that, and then just veggies for sure with everything that I eat.
Do you kind of know how many ounces of water you get in a day?
Well, where's my hydro flask? I don't have it with me right now. It's a big one. It's the big hydro flask from Costco. So I finished 2 of those.
Okay.
And easily. That's like 30 ounces each.
Yeah.
Or 60.
Yeah, that's good. That's like when I remember that around your time, that was like the goal my doctor had for me. And it's so crazy because like now 13 months, I can drink like 100 ounces. Yeah, I drink a lot of water and I've realized that really, really helps me because like I'll get dizzy. I'll get dizzy if I lack in my water or if I don't take my vitamins or like whatever. And it's like, it's not a mystery on why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. I know exactly why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. You know what I mean?
Your body's, you're so in tune. I feel definitely you get more in tune with your body because it's, I don't know, it's not as saturated.
Yeah. And it's, you know, a year, my body's already in the routine of like what I need to eat. So when I eat bad or I don't meet my water, yeah, I feel crappy. It's just like your body's like, whoa, what are you doing? You know, They'll talk to you. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, my stomach for sure. It'll be like, ah.
Yeah. So one of the questions someone asked me, I know you said about exercising. Do you exercise or no?
Yeah. So I do like 3 times a week. I do walk. I do like some walking. My ACL is still torn, so I am I'm thinking about getting it done this year.
Yeah.
I'm still doing PT for it, so just trying to keep it.
Yeah. So it's manageable, your care.
Yeah, it's for the most part. I think it is pretty manageable. I just it still hurts. Like randomly throughout the day, it'll just be like, hey, reminder, this
Yeah. So how did you tear your ACL, if you don't mind me asking?
I was at a water park. I was chasing after my kid,
Yeah.
and when I went to step in, it was a lot deeper than I thought it was. So I'm just worried about this my kid going the opposite way instead of coming towards me. There was 3 slides, and there was no like lifeguard at the bottom, and I was like, hey, hello. So
Yeah.
there was only one at the top. So if they weren't gonna do something and my kid was gonna bump into somebody else, I'd rather pull her close to me as soon as I can. So I went in, and my leg went one way and my hip went another.
Wasn't it so painful?
Yes, it was very painful. It was in Illinois too, so it was in a water park, not even in my home state. So I was like freaking out because
horrible.
Yeah. I didn't have my phone with me. My phone was like somewhere else. They called the ambulance. It was a whole. So I rode in on the ambulance to like a local hospital, and the ambulance guy was like, "You want some like painkiller?" What was it that he offered me? I think it was like fentanyl or something. I don't know what like some high dose stuff. I was like, "No, I'm good." It hurts, but I'm not down for that.
God. Yeah, because you didn't even know at that point what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's scary because like mine was like 4 years ago, and I tore my ACL and my meniscus. I tore both things. But it was because growing up, I played soccer and I always had bad knees, always. So I was telling my mom, I was like, Mom, I think that it was always kind of like hanging by like you know what I mean? Because I had to like wear knee braces and like, all these things, but for some reason I never got, or my doctors never recommended for me to get like an x-ray or something. But no, I tore my ACL as an adult like 4 years ago. And it's funny because I was sitting on the couch and like, I always fold my legs. Like my legs are folded right now. Like I didn't even learn. I was folding my legs and your leg falls asleep, right? Like when you're like that all the time. And I had to go to the bathroom. So I stood up and like I kind of like ran because I had to go, but my leg was asleep. And when your leg's asleep, you don't have control over it. You're kind of like, you don't feel it. And I took like the wrong step and it literally snapped. Like I heard it. It was like a rubber band, legit. Yeah. And my husband was, I know now that I think about it, I'm so careful now. Like when I stand up, like right now my legs are folded, but when I stand up, I kind of like take my time and I'm like, all right, like shake my legs out because I learned. My husband was on the couch and he was like, what? And I was like, I broke my leg. Like I've never broken anything. So I was like, it just hurt so bad that I didn't know what it was. So my thought was I broke my leg,
Yeah.
And then I went to the emergency room and stuff, and it was my ACL and my meniscus. I had to get surgery, like away. I had to get surgery, I think a week later, because I couldn't, like when I couldn't walk. Like when I would stand, my leg, my knee would go back because it was completely torn. It wasn't holding on anymore. That's why I asked you, because one of my best friends tore her ACL, but she was able to decide when she wanted surgery because it was still manageable. It wasn't completely torn,
Yeah.
So it's scary. It's a scary and really, really, you don't think of that ever happening to you, but when you do, it definitely backtracks you for sure. For sure.
Yeah, like I can't execute running successfully.
No,
I've
you
tried.
have to be careful with working out.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
But what about swimming? Do you swim?
Yeah, I do swimming. Yeah, I do some swimming. My tia has a swimming pool, and I'm like, again, I just like I power walk as best as I can, and then I'll do just like weights. I have the weights at home, so I'll do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like because even with me, like I got my surgery, but they told me like it's just looking at oh my gosh, what's the word that I'm trying to, just looking at like data, a lot of people that get surgery because of an ACL will get it again. And I'm like, awesome. Because they say like, yeah, we can fix it, but your body's not to how it was made, like we're fixing it. But that's what they tell me, just be careful with your knee. But it's weird because I got surgery on my left knee and my right knee hurts more because I'm more careful. I'm babying it,
Yeah, that's it. My right. Okay, so I tore my left one. Yeah. Now my right's the one that like bugs me too, and I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, but because of
But
the
it's because
weight
you're
loss,
overcompensating.
yeah, but because of the weight loss, it's absolutely helped, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I don't feel constant pain like before. Like I felt like I couldn't really walk, and my doctor, my orthopedic surgeon, basically is like, for every 5 pounds that you're overweight, it's 20 on your knees, and I was like,
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
mm-hmm.
When you put it in that perspective, it's like, what? You know what I mean? That's insane. Yeah. Ay,
Very
ay,
tough.
ay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
you just have to be careful with your knee.
for sure.
Um, sorry, what'd you say?
And I said, I am. Now I'm like, you guys can go ahead. Yeah, my boyfriend will make fun of me. My kids will make fun of me. I'm over here like a little abuelita.
Oh yeah, it's babying it, man, because it's serious. And like when you had to get surgery and stuff, like I got surgery and I had to do physical training and stuff for like a while, for like months, and it's
6
painful
months.
because even after surgery, man, it's like your knee just went through surgery. And then I remember them trying to bend my legs certain ways, and they're like, I know it's gonna hurt. And like I was crying, and they were like, I have to do this because if not, your leg's gonna be stiff and you're not gonna be able to go back to normal. And I was like, oh my god, like it was horrible. So it's just super important, you know. And yeah, and even now though, like with the weight that I dropped, just my joints, it's crazy how different it feels. Like I can't even describe it, you know?
Yeah. It feels more manageable for sure.
Yeah. Someone asked, when was your first stall?
I think mine was 3 months where I like didn't lose anything for, I think, like 2 weeks, and I was like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
And it was more during the time where um, it was pandemic time, so I was just like, trying to not go into my old ways, but still not trying to panic with everything that the news was saying and
Yeah.
everything that you this and it's airborne and you can't go out anymore and you're stuck at home with your kids.
Yeah. No, yeah, that was, I mean, even right now, still, I know like things are kind of going back to normal, but not really.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like it's funny because in all my podcasts for the last I don't know how long, we talk about the virus because that has a huge effect on everything. I remember, it started in March, right? Like that's kind of around
March
everything
March
happened.
14th.
So August, September, October, December, January, February. I was about 7 months post-op during that time, and I was in my rhythm, right? I was on my working out and eating and all that, and then bam, and then my personal trainer stopped training, and I was like, okay, and I didn't work out for like a month, 2 months, and I remember that like threw me off. But I really, really try to stay on top of my eating habits, but it's hard. It's so hard, especially working from home. Are you having to work from home?
Yeah, well, I've been working from home for over a year, so it's nothing new to me, but like having the kids here, that wasn't something new completely because I was like, what? What are you doing? Yeah, I could. Yeah, I'm in meetings and they're like, "Mommy," and I'm like, "I'm in a meeting."
Yeah, it's so tough. It's just, I think it's tough. So you said you worked from home even before this. So staying on a routine and stuff, do you think it's harder that you're like when you're home, or you think it's easier?
I definitely feel like it's easier because I don't have that temptation to like
drive through somewhere.
Drive through, yes. I just wanted to drive through all the time. Or like my coworkers, I have some really great coworkers where I worked in the office, and we would go to lunch like every Friday or something, So not having that, but missing that like being able to talk to somebody like I don't know. We got close.
It has its pros and cons. Cause I remember like when I was, I'm going back in person, hopefully, I don't know, like in a month, but, I think it's so hard to start a routine and then it gets broken and they have to restart it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like, even when I go back to work, now I'm thinking like, meal prepping and all this stuff, because I remember like when I would forget my lunch, it would throw me out of whack. Like that day I was like, oh my gosh, like now I have to go and make good decisions. Now I have to go and like, You know, anywhere you go, there's a good choice. You can go to McDonald's and find something that is fine. You can go to Jack in the Box and find something that is fine. Like every place has a food item that is gonna work, you know?
Yeah, of course.
But it's making
But
it
it's one. Yep. It's executing it for sure.
It's literally getting to that intercom and looking at the menu and being like, what should I get? You know? And it's that. And it's mind over matter. Like, what do you want? What do you need? What do you want? What do you need? You know?
Yeah. Oh, I'm having that. So do you feel like now with like not having so much of a food addiction, do you find yourself shopping more? Like kind of switching out that? Or
yes. And I'm going to say yeah, because with now, and I've said it before, it's like now I feel for me to stay on track is getting creative. So now it's getting really creative, not just with my meals, but with my snacks. So I love changing things up because I don't want to get bored. You guys will see me like on Instagram when I do post a lot. I haven't been posting a lot right now because I am working from home and I'm helping my brother get through middle school online. And it's crazy. It's his first year of school. And it's so much. He has to be on like 6 different Zoom calls. Like, are you kidding? Like, it's so much for him, you know? So anyways, so I get a lot of like protein bars. I love protein bars, but I'm always changing them up. I was really into the Think bars for a little bit, and now I'm into Power Crunch. You know, like
because of you, I got some of those.
Which one's your favorite?
Yeah. I like the Oreo ones, the cookies and cream.
Yes. There is so many different things. So that's what I'm saying is like, I do shop a lot and I get mad when I want to try something new and I don't like it. Cause I'm like, you know, but I always like to change things up because that's what keeps me motivated. But again, eating the way that I buy snacks, it's a lot more expensive. Because it's not just me, it's me, my husband, and my sister-in-law. And like we're all trying to be like on a good routine, you know? Oh my, like good routine. But yeah, I'm always like trying to experiment on different things. So that you know, going to Target, I will never leave Target without spending $100. And I'm just like, what did I just do? You know? And then it's like gone in a week. So I have a bunch of Greek yogurts right now, and I bought. Have you tried the Chobani Flip yogurts?
I have, yeah. Yeah, those are good.
They're so good. So right now I have like, I don't know, like 5, but they're all different flavors because I like to do that because I like to be like, which one do I like the most, you know? And then once I find one that I'm obsessed with, then I like stock up. But like I said, I like to change everything up.
And I saw so you still drink Premier, right? Protein? Yeah. I feel like sometimes for me, it gives me a headache. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know. It's weird. Like now I feel like it, not all of them, but I think some of them I think I tried which one was it?
Which flavor?
I think it was the apple cinnamon one.
I haven't tried that one. You're talking about the oats.
Yeah.
I haven't tried the oats.
Okay, so that one, and then I also had the cookies and cream one. Mm-hmm. Both of those, I got those on special. I think I even told you about it. It was through Big Lots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were on clearance, and I tried them. I checked the expiration date for sure. Yeah. But for some reason, it just, you know how you feel when you're about to get like a nosebleed? Yeah. That's how I was feeling. I was like, what is going on?
That's so weird. Maybe something in there you're just sensitive to. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's definitely what it is. I mean, I don't know if I'm lactose intolerant too, because I don't really like eat a lot of dairy per se. Yeah. Yeah. Or if I do, it's like cheese. So it's like part skimmed.
Yeah. No, yeah, I love Premier, but my go-to is caramel, and then right now is the pumpkin one. It's so good. But my thing is I drink it with coffee. I don't drink them alone. I haven't drank them alone for I don't even know how many months. Because people ask me that, like, do you drink it alone? I'm like, they're good by themselves. They are. Like the other day I tried I took a sip of the pumpkin without coffee because I want to be like, it's good even without coffee. And I made him and try it. He's like, no, yeah, that's pretty good. He's like, but it doesn't compare when you don't have coffee with it. It's so good.
And your protein.
I love it. Like it's literally every day and it helps me meet my protein. So that was another question. What's your protein goal? Like how much do you track that? Like how many grams of protein you have a day?
I have not right now actually, but I'm still staying within like the 60 to 80.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm doing eggs, I'm doing like a protein like meat.
And
Um,
do you do protein shakes or no?
I actually do the isocure. So I'll drink. So with my water, I'll also do it's 20 grams of protein and like 10 calories.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. For me, it tastes pretty good. It's the passion fruit, I think.
What is it called?
Tropical. Isocure.
I've never tried that.
No, it's on a vitamin shop.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Get everything with vitamin shop.
Yeah, there's so many ways of beating your protein goal. You know what I mean? And a lot of people struggle with that, especially in the early stages because we can't drink so much. I remember when the premiere, I couldn't finish it I don't chug it. It takes me now I can drink my coffee in like 30 minutes. Before there was no possible way. Like before in the beginning, like around your time, it would take me like hours, or I would do 2 sittings. So like the premiere, I would drink half of it, and then 2 hours later I would drink the rest of it, so it was equal to 1. But I've noticed that like in order for me to meet my protein goal, I have to take in that premiere or like a high protein bar or something, you know what I mean? Because yeah, cheese and eggs and all that, they do have protein, but not enough to meet the goal that it was. Now I mean, I still kind of go for at least 60 to 80. I hit like 80 or 90. But I remember how hard it was to hit 60. I remember I was like, oh my gosh.
The beginning for sure. I agree.
Yeah, it was like so hard to meet the 60 grams of protein. I feel like it changes drastically. Do you feel like it's changed like month to month? Do you feel that things are changing month to month for you? Like with food?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I'm still trying to like not have that, like when I get stressed or something, I don't want to just resort to food, or So I want to be able to have a good relationship with food. I'm still working on that. So every month I learn something new, and also talking with my therapist, it makes a huge difference.
And I love that you said that, because now I'm getting to a point, and I don't know, and this is what I don't recommend for people, but this is just me talking. And like what you said is really figuring out that relationship with food. Like, I have pizza now. I do. I've had regular ice cream. I've had hot Cheetos. I've had things. And now it's just really taking in the tools that I've learned within the year and telling myself it's okay to have a slice of pizza, but it's not okay to eat an entire pizza like I did.
Right, exactly.
I used to eat like, it's so embarrassing, but I could eat so many slices of pizza in one sitting. It's ridiculous. I could eat 5-6 slices, and that's so embarrassing to say, but I could kill them like before. Yeah. And now it's like, okay, you can have pizza, but you're going to have one, or hot Cheetos. I could have like the big, not even like the 99-cent one. No, I'm talking about the big one, and I could eat it all. Yeah. No problem.
Let's see. Yeah. Oh, and then add like nacho cheese. And that's like high school days.
Yes. It was so funny. My husband had bought hot Cheetos, and then I posted it on my story. I don't even know what they're called. They're from Laughing Cow. Have you tried them? The little square cheese. It's like cream cheese.
Yes. Oh, when you posted the pretzel one earlier today, I was like, that's my jam. I love that.
So good. Oh. So he had hot Cheeto, and I had a hot Cheeto, and I dipped into the cream cheese, and I was like, this is middle school. Because I used to do the nacho cheese, and then I used to do the cream cheese. It was both that I did.
My kid just got into the Takis and cream cheese, and I was like, you realize that's just like crema, right?
I haven't even tried that, and that sounds so good. I love spicy, and I love chips. So it's a bad combination.
It's a win-win.
I know. No, yeah. I feel like it's so important to find that middle. And it's not saying I will never eat pizza again. I will never have ice cream again. It's understanding that you can, but how much, and moderation. You know what I mean? But it's hard. It's hard when you've struggled with food and addiction for so long. And then it's like, I don't know. It's a mission.
And then it's also having a good support system, because if you have somebody that's just going to put you down continuously, then and it's not good at all. Like, I could not be with somebody that would just be like, oh, you're eating that again, or like, oh, aren't you stretching out your stomach, like whatever. I
Yeah.
could not be with somebody like that. I have enough, more than enough self confidence in myself or self esteem to know like that's like emotional abuse. Like
Yeah,
no.
and it's so important because people think that I've met people that their spouse or someone would constantly tell them about their weight and stuff, and then they would say, "Oh, it's because he loves me."
Mm-mm.
There's like, I feel like there's a middle to that because sometimes when I look at myself when I was that heavy, I tell my husband all the time, "How did you never tell me about my weight?" And he was like, "It's crazy because I never saw you that big, number one." And he's like, "When I see before and after pictures that you post, I literally look at it and I'm like, how was that her a year ago?" You know what I mean? And it's crazy because I feel like you're just when you're with someone every day and stuff, you don't really see it. You know what I mean? And then like both had those bad habits together.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So it's like all of those things just constantly happening. It's just so crazy. But like you said, it's the support system. The support system I feel like is one of the biggest factors to being successful on this.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, like I had one of my friends say like, "Oh, well, I know somebody that like had it and they just gained all the weight back. Like, why are you gonna do it?" And I was just like, "Well, that was her experience. I'm not her, and I've maintained my weight. I'm not saying I'm always eating perfectly because I'm not, but I'm learning to like mix things up, like you said. So, and as long as I continue to see the scale go down, like I know things are going well. Once I see that stall, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta change something up. Like I need to, like that's why I started intermittent fasting right now.
Yeah,
so,
but it's a life journey. Like it's not gonna stop. Even when you meet your goal weight, it's not gonna stop. And that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's where I'm at. Like, yeah, I'm like at my goal weight, but now it's like, how do you maintain it? You can't just, oh, I met my goal weight and then stop working out and then start eating like crap again. It's gonna be forever. And then when I get pregnant, and then I'm gonna gain weight, and then after I'm gonna be like, okay, now I have to lose weight, and then it's forever. And yes, we know that we can gain the weight back. We know that,
yes, exactly.
And it's scary. How do you feel when you think about that? Does it scare you, or is it kind of something that motivates you to like not fall back?
A little bit of both. It does scare me because I don't ever want to see the scale go over 200 again. Yeah. Like for sure, I never want to see the scale go to that. And then it's all these like little things that before, like I was always constantly XL, double XL. Like now it's like I'm going towards the goal of large and then medium and then maybe small. But if it doesn't happen, I'm going to be okay with medium to large. Yeah.
I know all my clothes was plus size, everything. I could never go to a regular store and get no. It was like I knew what stores I could go to. I knew Target had plus size, Walmart had plus size, and like Forever 21 and then the Forever 21 by my house stopped having plus size, and I was like, what the heck? Yeah. And they told us they told me, they were like, it's because we're not selling enough. They're like, it's online, like you can, but it was awesome to be able to go to a store and buy it, other than Walmart and Target. Even though Walmart has some cute clothes.
They do.
I'm like, don't sleep on Walmart. I buy so much stuff there. It's crazy. And it's not as cheap as it used to be. Okay?
No. Costco though. Costco.
See, I have a Sam's Club membership because it's right by my house. And that's where I get all my workout clothes. I love it.
Yeah. Or Fabletics. Like now I'm like looking at different things. I tried Fabletics and I'm like, oh, okay, I look cute.
I haven't tried it.
I tried. Yeah, I'm going to show you a picture that I haven't posted yet because I was like, I don't know, maybe it might be.
I want to see because I see so many people wear it, and I'm honestly, now that I feel like, even though like now I'm buying more clothes because through the journey, and I bought so much clothes, and then a month later it wouldn't fit me, and I was like, oh, why did I spend so much money on that?
Yeah.
So annoying. But now that I'm like at kind of like my
good weight,
I'm kind of like, okay, now I can kind of start buying things that I will have for a while, not for like a month,
Yeah.
So,
but I like how you have like some of the oversized like
I love
tops.
I love
And then like some leggings or whatever, or así nomás. And I think that's awesome. And for California in general, like it's always going to be in style.
I
This
always
was
like,
Forever 21.
yeah, see, I love off the shoulder, like that's my jam. And
Yeah.
oversized. But even I just like the style and the look of oversized. And it's comfy.
It is very comfy. You don't have to do too much with it.
Exactly. Like when you wear like tight clothes, it's like this, I'm like, it's comfy, but like not really to me.
Yeah. Exactly.
Someone asked, do you get discouraged easily? And like, if you do, what do you do to get yourself out of that funk?
Definitely a funk. For me to not get discouraged, I look at how I used to look. There's pictures that I haven't posted.
Yeah.
And like even the Disney one that you featured, I hadn't even seen that one in a while because I was like, I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
And now like I'm looking through stuff and I'm like, that motivates me. Seeing that old person and remembering when I took it, and then saying like, oh yeah, you guys get in front of me so that like it's just my face.
You remember the moment, of that picture, like it's like a flashback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's how the mind works. That like my therapist has said that like your
that's so crazy.
Things like that, your mind can easily revert back to that moment. So I remember just being happy.
Yeah, wait, that picture that I posted today, that was Disneyland?
Yep, that was Disney.
See, that's crazy because today my like Tuesday transformation picture, that one where I'm wearing the camo shirt, that's Disneyland too. So that's weird. Yeah, that's weird. And I remember this picture, this one right here of me.
Oh, yeah,
I remember this picture so clearly, and I've talked about it before because that shirt was actually because we went to Disneyland. It's an hour away from us, but we like to stay the night because like I'm like, I don't want to drive home, I'm tired, whatever. So we stayed the night the day before, and I actually bought a Mickey Mouse shirt the day before, but I didn't try it on. And then I tried it on the next morning and it didn't fit me. And that camo shirt was my pajama shirt the night before.
I remember you talking about that. Yeah.
And I was like, it was like normal. And I was like, how can I make this cute? And I always like tear shirt ups or like cut them off the shoulder. Like I've always done that. Like it's been like a thing. So I was like, I need to find a pair of scissors. And then I cut that shirt so it's off the shoulder so I could look cute at Disneyland.
Yeah.
But it's like every time I see that picture, I think of that. I think of waking up that morning and trying on that Mickey Mouse shirt and it being a 2X and it not fitting me and then having to cut my pajama shirt. Like that's crazy.
That's very crazy.
That's how you explain that picture that I posted of you today brought flashbacks. Like it's so weird.
Yeah, because first of all, I wasn't happy with my weight at that time, obviously. I wasn't happy with myself. I wasn't, like I knew I was not having a good relationship with food. Like I would eat late at night and I would just stay up till like 2 or 3 in the morning and then still have to go to work.
Your life routine was out of whack.
Yes. Yeah, like my whole it was like such a, like obviously my priorities were always my kids, but like after the kids were asleep, it was, okay, eat my emotions, like I'm not happy with this, okay, eat my emotions. Oh, what can I get? Like I would crave stuff and then I would get it, and like after I would finish eating, then I'm like, now what? Like it didn't fulfill me.
Like it fulfilled you for that second that you were eating, and then after you were like, I still feel crappy about today or whatever, and now what? Yeah.
Exactly.
See, and I'm telling you, this is why I love doing these podcasts, because it's like, it makes me feel like I'm not alone. And I know that everyone that's watching is the same thing. I get messages every single week about different people on my podcast and them saying like, wow, like I've had people that struggle with like PCOS or like major depression or like anything, and they relate to everyone differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's super awesome. What advice would you give to someone that was like, let's say a week before surgery? What advice would you give them?
like whether you have a support system or not, you are your biggest advocate.
Yes.
For me, my mom took care of my kids while I went to the surgery. So I drove myself to the hospital and then drove myself back home.
Oh, wow.
I know. So like whether you have somebody there for you or not, you're your biggest advocate. You're doing this for you. So whether you have somebody that's going to be there after you get out of surgery or not, you're doing it for you. Like there's that same purpose for you, for your life. That's the biggest motivator.
It is. Yeah, and I love that you say that, because that's kind of how I respond when people message me, like, my best friend's totally against it, or my mom's totally against it, or my husband's totally against it, whatever. And I tell them at the end of the day, this is you. And I say it all the time. When you feel your best, you're going to be the best wife and best friend and sister and cousin and aunt and whatever titles you have. If you aren't happy with yourself, you're not going to be that best version. Like you said, your routine was out of whack. And I can speak on that so well, because like, I remember everything, like just everything, like you don't want, like my house wouldn't be like as clean as it should be, or like, you know what I'm saying? Just everything. My refrigerator was all like whatever, because I wouldn't even open it because I would eat out every day. Like just things that you don't think are a big deal, and you think about it now and you're like, oh my gosh, like I was avoiding that because I was like, I'm gonna eat or whatever, Yeah. It's insane. It's so crazy.
It's really crazy.
And it's like breaking the chains, huh? It's like breaking what you're doing and like continue
your mental chains.
Yeah,
for sure. I was going to say, like you're either going to make it or break it, for sure. Like, and then the people that are there, if they're there, they're going to be your best friend regardless. Yeah. If they still want to be there. If they say like, oh, well, I'm against it. Okay, well, you can either step aside and be on this journey from far away, or get to step in. I don't need you.
Exactly. Like learning. If they're meant to be your friend, they're going to be your friend. So
yeah, of course.
I know.
Yeah. That's a big thing. Like, for me, whatever's meant to be for you, it's going to happen. Like with, I think for me, like certain situations in my life have been like that, where like, if you don't have to try that hard for something, like you don't have to continue to fight so much for it, then it's for you, Yeah. Like whether it be relationships or whether it be, I don't know, something like this, like we are constantly trying to better ourselves, but it's not like an uphill battle of like, people bringing us down, or like, you know what I mean? It's not.
I get what you're saying. Like, it's kind of like, if it's meant for you, it's going to happen type of thing.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, I totally get what you're saying. Yeah. Like if let's talk about it. Like marriage, right? Like the example that I'm going to give is, marriage is hard, but your pros list should be way longer than your cons list, right? Of course you have struggles, but it shouldn't be a constant like battle, right? Exactly. I feel like that's how it is for everything. If you're in a friendship that you feel you're constantly trying to prove something or competition or whatever, that's not a friendship. That's like toxic, Yeah,
exactly.
So yeah, that's a really good example. And like you said, it's this journey, at the end of the day, it's you, and you have to focus on you, and you can't let things be a distraction, because like my doctor always said, the first year, that's game time. So whatever happens in that year, if you let that stop you, you're literally, this once in a lifetime chance is slipping away from you. You can't get the surgery twice.
Yeah, you can't. No. I've seen people that get like revisions and stuff or whatever, but that's like, for whatever reasons.
Yeah, it's different reasons, but like the higher percentage is like, this is it. Like the 1 year, this is your once in a lifetime. We've already done 1,000 diets, right? We've already done 1,000 things that have failed. This is the most extreme thing you can do to lose weight.
Exactly. You've yo-yoed throughout your life. Just, if this is what you want to do it, and just adelante. Or like my Miami friends say, pa'lante.
Is that, there's a song, they're from Puerto Rico. And it's called pa'lante. And I was like, wait, what? My husband's like, yeah, that's how they say it. I was like, oh, because the Spanish is different. So awesome.
Yeah, Puerto Ricans and Cubans. Miami has so many Cubans, by the way.
And it's because of baseball. So, there's a lot of Cubans, Puerto Ricans, and all of that. So when they're doing interviews, I'm like, oh, I love their Spanish because it's so different from like mine. Like, I don't know. It's different. And it's like unique. But
you're like, okay.
I know. So is there anything else? I know we can talk forever, and I always do this. I always tell everyone, like, we could talk for 1,000,000 hours. Is there anything that you want to add before we end?
Do it for you. I definitely it's the biggest thing. Yeah. Do it for you, and it's gonna make your life better if that's what you choose it to be. Don't if you keep having so many excuses, you're not ready. You're not ready.
Yeah. It's really knowing when you're ready. And like you said, the reason should be you. The reason for surgery shouldn't be like, I want to look better for my husband, or like, I want to find, you know what I mean? Like, those aren't reasons. Yeah. It's you, number one.
Yes, exactly. Quality of life.
I love that. Well, thank you for being on. It was fun. And like, I always tell everyone, so you're 6 months. I would love to have you again, like at your 1 year, or like, you know what I mean? It's going to be cool to see yourself. I see myself in my videos from January, and I look so different.
You do. Yeah. I remember looking at them, and I was like,
yeah. And I was already 100 pounds down.
Dang.
Yeah. I was already, and I always say this, like, my 100 pounds down, yeah, that's huge, right? That's a huge milestone. Yeah. But my last 40 pounds, I see more of a difference than my first 100 pounds. So it's just so crazy. But I would love to have you on again at your 1 year or whenever. Like, message me. We talk all the time on Instagram. So just message me, and then we can go on again and see how the last 6 months are for you. But I'm excited. I'm excited for you. And you're killing it.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
6 more months, 75 more. Let's do it.
You got it. It goes by so fast. So like, enjoy the journey and stay patient and be consistent. I feel like that's the key, being patient and being consistent.
Yes. Keep it together.
All right. Well, have a good night. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys loved this episode. My episodes tend to be an hour and a half. So if you are still here, thank you so much. Maria, thank you so much for being part of my podcast. We had so much fun, and I can't wait to have you again at your 1 year post-op to see how it is from 6 months to a year. You're doing such an amazing job, and I'm so excited for you, and keep up the good work. And if you guys haven't, please subscribe. Please like this video, comment down below. Let us know what you guys think. And like always, thank you guys for the constant love every single Wednesday and Sundays. You guys have a beautiful rest of your week. Bye.